wanna address this to everybody that's in search of. And what I mean by in search of, I mean everybody that's practically is in a deep, deep coma of self-denial, to the point where they're going to the extent of even denying their own existence to embrace or absorb another existence, which is ultimately still themselves. They're just unaware of that. So, like, I see a lot of people trying to find themselves, whether it's in mostly material things. Some people feel naked without either having financial security, either a certain car, a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living, whatever it may be, to kind of make them fit and kind of bring awareness to them in the social setting at the moment, like whatever's that standard or that trend for that particular moment in society. Or they try to do it in ways where they claim to be a spiritual person when you don't even have to claim that, because spiritual is obvious. It's obvious that we're more than just what's seen. We also the unforeseen. So claiming to be spiritual is basically that's commercial. You know, that's false advertisement in a way. And you don't need to claim that, because you already are that. So I realized that a lot of people are trying to find themselves in different ways, and whether it's in jobs and careers, it's like deep inside you really denying that force that's in you, that's layered with fear that you put upon yourself over the years to actually go after what you really want in life. So you're using anything as either a burden or an excuse, trying to find yourself in a relationship, instead of trying to actually connect and find yourself within a connection of another person. You're trying to actually find yourself in a relationship. Like, you're not even considering the other person at all. You just need the other person for a situation you're trying to create, which is another false advertisement, because now you're putting yourself in a situation and you claiming to actually care for the person, but it's only for a social liability. Like, you're only doing it for a social status. And it's like, deep inside, you really don't care, but you know this could make you seem a certain way or bring awareness to yourself because you're in this situation, because everybody around you is in a relationship. So you feel like it's only right if you get one. And if you don't have one, you feel like you're out of tune, you're out of place. And that's not the case. You could actually not be in a relationship with another person. You could be in a relationship with yourself, and that's still another person. You know, like, you don't have to feel ashamed to not be in one. It's amazing to be in one with somebody beautiful, but it's also nothing to be ashamed of if you're not in one. And again, like, so many people are in search of, and you're not really addressing the situation. And I see people going in a direction, first, like, even with, or in a religious aspect, using God to just try to mostly identify themselves with. Like, more and more I see people using, like, either God or like Jesus or whatever it may be, they call it, and they use it in a way where they're trying to make it more like human life, when it's like, you're basically messing with your own psyche and your own psychology by doing that. Even with people that don't even use those words, but just say the universe, I see them trying to make it more human-like, like trying to make it fit into society and be accepted more. So they're trying to give it an image and a structure as if it could connect with everybody. Like, oh, this is the social norm. And it's like, it's not. When you describing these names, or you talking about these big things that you're trying to connect with, it doesn't fit in. Like, when you say universe, or you use the word God, whatever word you want to use on whatever force, you talking about something that's actually above all society, above pride, above ego. It can never fit in. So you're trying to shape it and make it and control it. Actually, that's what people are actually doing. They're trying to control it and give it a name and give it a force and give it a personality of themselves. And people use these things as weapons. People use a lot of things as weapons. People use other people as weapons. People use relationship as weapons. People use their religion as weapons. People use sex as weapons. So when you try to use these things as weapons and try to control it, the only one who's going to get the shot is you. Like, you could hurt as many people as you want, but the only one that's ultimately going to get the hardest strike, and that's you. Because what you're doing is actually you're training yourself to harm yourself through other people. So your mind is then going to start harming you as well, because you're training it to harm. It doesn't know that you're a part of it, like, at all. It doesn't know that you're a part of it. The mind is a big, huge force. It's a force that's just lingering, that you just gotta just grasp and connect with. It doesn't realize that you're actually a part of it. So it's going to start harming you as well. And that's what people will call it the name karma, or have a karmic effect. But it's going to start harming you as well, because you're actually training the universe, all right, or whatever you want to call it, or Jesus, God, whatever name you put to these forces, you're training it to summon against your own self. See, whatever you practice, it starts practicing. So if you practice hate, then hate is going to start practicing. That means when you do it, it's going to start doing it on its own, to the point where it's out of your control, to even when it can hit you. So you got to really understand, when you in search of things and you using control to trying to find yourself in things, you are the only one that's going to be controlled, you know, because freedom isn't physical at all. It was never physical. Freedom is an internal thing. So you searching for this physical freedom because you're trying to identify freedom to physical matter and material things. And it's leading you to a path that's destroying you, that you can't even succeed in life. You can't even endure anything in life. Like, even success is overrated. Like, all this stuff is just like kind of just overrated. It's kind of boring to me now, you know. Success is an abundant thing, and it's amazing. But so many people are trying to grasp on the idea and think that whatever little bit of accomplishment they do, like, they think responsibilities is success. And that's why I said, like, all right, it's overrated. You got to go beyond success. You got to be super duper successful, supremely successful. People think that being responsible is a success. Like, oh, you know, like, I did something for this person today, or I took my child here and there, or they did something that was supposed to be a duty, and you think you're supposed to get a pat on the back because you did a duty. You think that's success, and that's not success. That's things you were supposed to do. Like, you were supposed to help somebody else. You were supposed to take care of children. You were supposed to be there for the people you needed to be there. You don't get a pat on the back for that. That's not a success. So a lot of people still live in that egotistic mindset, that false perception of self, where they actually pumping that up constantly by thinking, oh, I was there for this person, or I did this today, that makes me a great person. That means I'm on the right path. You're not on the right path at all, because you're not doing nothing that's actually successful. You're just doing something that's responsible, and it's a difference. Success and responsibility are way two different things. When you obtain success, then that's a responsibility. But you haven't reached the level of success by trying to get a pat on the back for things you're supposed to be responsible for. Taking care of yourself or loving yourself, you're supposed to do that. You don't get pats on the back for that. Like, it's not a super duper achievement. Like, you were supposed to do that. Like, you were supposed to do that. So now you got to reach for something beyond yourself. And if you think what I'm saying is loud, just look at your lives. You may have been in a place, quote unquote, healing. You may be in a place where you think, oh, I'm doing the right thing, but things still aren't coming true. Things still ain't coming as fast as you want it to come. Pay attention to that. And it's a reason why it's not happening when it can be happening. It's because you're not putting in the work. You're confusing your duties with success. And if you was really intelligent, you'll make true success a duty. Instead of making responsibility success, make true success a duty. Like, if you have something in your heart you truly desire, make that your duty and commit and devote to it. and then you'll be successful. So being in search of and trying to find yourself within all these meaningless things and thinking that, let me tell you one thing I want to just speak on real quick. Pride is not going to last long. Like, it may have lasted for centuries and hundreds and billions of years, maybe the start of civilization or just the start of human beings, period. But real pride exists, like having real pride in things that really meaningful. I'm not talking about that kind of pride. I'm talking about this full sense of pride, this self-defense mechanism people have within. It's not going to last. It's going to get died out. It's going to be a time where being prideful makes you look stupid, especially when it's on something that doesn't even mean anything. And you're going to look stupid. It's not going to be the social norm or the social standard, because it's real people doing real meaningful things and actually making a real impact. Where it's like, if you still trying to live in this false society or this false perception of yourself, you're really the one that's the outcast. And then you'll have to figure out how to bounce back. And then that's going to be hard, because then who knows how old you might be then. Who knows what life may be at that point. And it's never too late, but at the same time, it can be too late, because the same opportunities are not going to be there. So if you have the opportunity to be real with yourself, to make amends, to change, to actually find a true connection, because I know that's hard for a lot of people to find a true feeling to connect to, try. Like, it doesn't matter. Open yourself up. Take the chances that you wouldn't want to take. Give the love that you wouldn't want to give. Like, put yourself out there. Open your heart and try to connect with something real, because the lies got to die at one point. Pride has a limit. I want you to know, like, pride has a limit in each lifetime. Like, you could go through your whole life living a lie, but on that last day or whatever time when you have to go through something severe, it's going to die out. The only thing that's going to stand is what's truly important. And if you ain't in a position or have the health to actually start doing something about it, then it's going to be like you just wasted your life. Like, you was here for nothing. And then that's sad, because if you have children or anybody or siblings that look up to you, they're going to mimic the same exact thing. And it's like, it's just going to be a cycle of just wasted sperm cells, like just wasted lives for nothing, when you can actually be out here doing something. So that's what I wanted to speak on today, In Search Of. And that's the title of this, In Search Of. So when you in search of, stop using things to find the search of, and use yourself to search for you. So that's what I'm going to say. Thank you, and I appreciate everybody.